Hi there, and happy Profit First Allocation Day. Today, I thought I would give you a tool that made my Profit First allocations so much easier. Last week, I mentioned some objections I had for getting into Profit First, and Profit First did some amazing things for me immediately after I read the book. First, I did the expense review that helped write the amount of money that I was spending on operating expenses, but it didn't cure everything in my Profit First journey. So the next thing I did was take a look at my financial reports over the previous year, and I allocated each expense line item of money that was going out, and I put it into the Profit First buckets. So taxes, owner's pay, profit, which there was zero, operating expenses, all of the categories that Mike gives in his book. I took every single expense and I put it into the right category so that I could see how close I was to the Profit First allocations that Mike was suggesting in his book and how far I had to go. That process took hours. And one of my initial objections to following the Profit First journey was, this is going to take too much time. I cannot spend hours every week, every 2 weeks, or even every month putting things in the right category. And that's where my Profit First professional came in, because Linda Stapp with Stapp Financial helped me put things in the right categories in my reporting so that as I allocated an expense, it automatically would show up in a report that showed me what category it was going in. So I run one report and I can see what percentages I'm at in each of the Profit First categories. So that was step one. I needed some automation to help reduce the amount of time so that all I'm doing is reconciling expenses versus trying to then, after the fact, recategorize everything into Profit First buckets. So even during my allocations, I'm still picking the same things that go into my accounting system, like this is a contractor, and it might be associated with this particular job that we did, or it's a software expense, it's an annual dues and subscription, this is a training expense. I'm still clicking normal things in my accounting software to categorize expenses according to the way that you need to categorize them for doing your books. But what she did on the back end was say, if it's categorized as this, it belongs in this Profit First bucket. And then there's a report that shows me exactly how much money is in each category and what percentage. And I can do a look back for a month, a week, a year, whatever custom date that I'm looking for. So that automated process saved me so much time in implementing Profit First. And as we know, if anything takes a little bit longer than we think that it should, if it starts to become a battle to continue to do a habit, then we'll quit. And as Mike says, Profit First is a habit. It's not just something that you do once a year, and it shouldn't take hours and hours and hours. So every week I spend 15 minutes doing my Profit First allocations. And one of the easiest things that got me to that point was having a Profit First professional help me categorize things appropriately. Linda's got a class that helps you set that up, that she runs once a quarter, and then every week I can just pull a report because they helped me set the books up that way. They went into my books and helped me set things up. I didn't have to figure this out myself. And they helped set up the reports that I can run. And now I know, okay, here is my real revenue, and I'm going to make allocations off of that. So then step two was, once I have the real revenue number, and I know I've decided, with my Profit First professional's help, by the way, how much of that money is going to go into each Profit First bucket, then I still have to do the calculations. So again, what I was trying to get to was to reduce the friction of following the Profit First method at every point that I could. So possible friction comes in when you're spending more time than you'd like on a particular task. And as a business owner, I'm being pulled in so many different directions. Typically, a lot of people and things need or want my time. And if I have to do that, spend that amount of time in administration tasks like that, or then I have to pay someone to do it. So then I have to think about ROI, both for my time or for paying someone else to do it. So at every point in the process, I was like, okay, how do we reduce friction here so that I spend less time doing it? And again, got down to 15 minutes a week to be able to follow the Profit First method. And it's made such a huge difference in my life and in my business. So one of the tools that Linda gave, and she is happy to offer this for free to anyone who's watching this video as well, is she gave me a spreadsheet where I just pop in one number, that real revenue number that comes off of that automated report that she has set up for me in QuickBooks. I put that number into one cell in that spreadsheet, and then it tells me which accounts need how much money. So, and on that spreadsheet, it says profit, operating expenses, taxes, and it shows the amount that I'm allocating to each account, because yes, there's a goal in the Profit First book, but you might not be there. It might take you a period of time to get your numbers to that goal. And so it shows the amount that's being allocated to each of those categories. And then from there, it calculates it for you. And on top of that, it also has the ending digits of the account number it's going to. So Linda took all of the friction out for me by putting the spreadsheet together for me. So I enter one number, and then it spits out which numbers go to which category. And along with that, I can see the ending account numbers. So all I have to do is go into my online banking system, and I say it goes from this account to this account. Here's the amount. It's all calculated for me. That's why it only takes me 15 minutes. I categorize expenses, I run a report, I put one number in the spreadsheet, and then I make transfers because all the numbers are there. And the other thing that Linda did for me, which you can set this up for yourself in your online banking account, but she reminded me that this is so easy. I have payroll because I have employees, and I pay myself on payroll as well. Transferring money into the tax account is a manual process because the revenue numbers are different each week. So I can't automate that. I still do have to spend the 15 minutes of allocating expenses, running the report, putting the report in the spreadsheet, and then transferring the money into the right tax account. However, payroll is consistent every week. We work the same amount of hours every week, almost always. And so what I was able to do, and here's a pro tip for you that you could set up for yourself, is do an automatic transfer from my from my tax account into my payroll account so that it would always cover payroll taxes. And that's just set up because it's the same number every 2 weeks. So I weekly put money into the tax account, and bi-weekly money automatically flows out of that account and into my payroll account to cover payroll taxes, which is another question that I had, and I have heard other people have it, is how much of your taxes should the tax account cover? Do they cover payroll taxes? What about owner's taxes? What about employee taxes? And that's a whole separate subject that we can talk about in a few weeks. But for now, just know that there are ways to reduce friction around this habit. The more that you reduce friction around performing a habit, the more likely you are to do it. And as Mike says, Profit First is a habit. It's not an event. And it shouldn't be an hours and hours and hours event every week, every 2 weeks, every month, because it's a habit. If you set up the right systems in place, you can make it a minute habit versus something that takes a long time. Reducing friction helps you follow through with the habit. And the way to do that is to set up systems, automations, reports, so that you can spend as little time as possible following the method to get you to your goal. So that's it for this week. You're going to find a link below in the description of this video to access the free allocation spreadsheet that I use every week that makes it super simple for me to spend only 15 minutes going through my books, allocating expenses, and then putting the right money into the right Profit First business accounts. All right, that's it for today. I'll be back next week and we'll talk a little bit more about Profit First and probably get into some KPIs. All right, see you later. Happy Profit First Allocation Day.